Thank you for staying tuned. It is still the conversation here on Lagos Television. Lagos is often described as Nigeria's commercial heartbeat, a city of endless opportunities. I remember when we talked about something like this last week when we had a guest and we were discussing that everybody wants to come to Lagos to make it, you know. And our conversation this morning is centered on the ease of doing business in Lagos. Joining us on the conversation is Titilayo. Bisiriyu. I hope I got that right.
Yes, you did.
Okay. She is the director of Bisiriyu Shoes and founder of Bisiriyu Shoes Academy. Thank you for joining us on the conversation.
Thank you.
All right. We're talking about ease of doing business in Lagos. First of all, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Young entrepreneur doing business in Lagos. And when you hear ease of doing business in Lagos, what comes to mind?
Well, I would say Nigeria is an easy place to, do business.
Nigeria?
Yes. In as much we are not there yet, there are lots of opportunities. But I feel the environment requires proper structure and resilience. Like we the entrepreneurs, we have lots of challenges we are facing in terms of electricity, and we don't even have funds, like full access to fund as an entrepreneur. So all these things are things that are really affecting us as an entrepreneur in Nigeria.
Okay, so ease of doing business means, an environment where you can do your business without much hindrances. So the government needs to fix, certain basic, amenities to create that stress-free environment. Okay, from what you do, I'm sure that was why you mentioned electricity. What other challenges do you go through aside electricity? And aside electricity, in doing your business? I know you mentioned funds, there should be other challenges you're going through.
Let's say I would mention tax.
Tax. Okay, the multiple taxation,
yes,
which is normal.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you find that stressful?
We as a business person, I feel there are a lot of things that is being attached to this tax of a thing. Like it's just like the recent this thing they brought.
The tax reform.
Yes, they brought. So it's something that, in as much we have a lot of bills to pay. So this thing is something that I feel if they can as well consider us in that aspect of tax, they should try, and most especially with the entrepreneurs, if they can reduce the rates in which we pay. Like for me as an entrepreneur, like a shoemaker, we file annual return. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying. So we file annual return. All these things are part of things that I feel it affects us as well. If they can, help us in a way where we can reduce.
You have minimal payments.
Yes, reduce it. So
you've cited just challenges at the federal level. What about Lagos, where you do business? How has the Lagos state government, affected your business?
Okay.
Or is Lagos a business-friendly place?
Yes, it is. It is actually. In as much you understand your market, you understand the people you are trying to sell to. Yes, it is actually a business-friendly place. Yes, it is.
Okay, you've talked about multiple taxation levies, and which are some of the challenges that young entrepreneurs generally, and even the young ones, have as issues affecting their business. But let's talk about, I really like that you're a lady who is also a shoemaker, which is a beautiful thing. Let's talk about how important, because again, while introducing you, you are also a founder of an academy, and which leads me to the question of how important is it for self-development and mentorship, especially when it has to do with business of skills, craft.
Thank you for that question. You see, as a shoemaker, as an entrepreneur, a lot of things comes in this aspect because we have lots of competitors. You need to work, learn the skills, learn it very well, work on yourself, seek knowledge, go out there, learn from people that are doing better than you, improve yourself in the field, because like I say, you see, this craft of a thing, it is not, we are not changing. I didn't go into the craft to change people's perspective in Nigeria only. It is globally. So you need to do something extraordinary. I don't even understand what I'm saying. So you need to do something extraordinary. You learn something those people are doing that you feel, oh, okay, if these people can do this thing, what exactly can I do that can, meet up with their own standard? So, like for me, aside from making shoes, it is beyond shoemaking for me, because aside from trying to solve the problem of having leg ache, back ache, and all of that, I'm also trying to, introduce insoles that would help alleviate health issues, not just in Nigeria only, but globally, by using our own natural resources here in Nigeria. So self-development is very, very crucial as a business person that wants to strive not just in Nigeria only, but globally.
Okay, just went off my head now. But so before now, many years ago, this particular skill or craft is usually you have the men dominating the space. But now, even on social media, you see a lot of female shoemakers, and I want you to talk about how this, let me call it an industry now, the shoemaking industry, how it has evolved over the years. What attracted you, into this particular craft?
Okay. There's this lady called Alemo Bethlehem. She's from Ethiopia. She happens to be my role model. She makes shoes from recycling and tires. Like I say, I didn't go into shoemaking just because every other person are going into it. I went into shoemaking to change people's perspective on how they see handmade shoes here in Nigeria. If a lady from Ethiopia can produce shoes, from recycling and tires, what exactly can I do here in Nigeria? I try to check. We get to have, Italian shoes. People here in Nigeria don't trust shoes that are being made here in Nigeria because they feel, oh, the quality is not up to, and they tend to price you low. So you see that lady, if she can actually make shoes from recycling and tire, so what exactly can I do as a lady here in Nigeria? And she happens to be the richest female shoemaker in
Ethiopia. Okay, let's talk about cost of doing business now. I'd like you to tell us, out of your business, how much income goes to, overhead cost, rent, power, electricity, which you talked about, and of course, logistics. You have mentioned levies, so we'll leave that out. So let's talk about the overhead cost, levies. How much of your income goes to that?
I would say 60%.
Okay. 60%. So you have a profit of just, 40%. So how do you manage around that?
We manage the same.
You manage. Okay, let's go to transportation and fuel. Of course, I know you work with a generator because of what you do. I'd like to know, how does the rise in fuel? Of course, fuel has been up and down. So at this level, we'll say, okay, fuel has really gone down, and electricity has been relatively stable. I don't know where you're operating from. So tell us about the cost and how it affects production and pricing.
You see, in terms of fuel, like you mentioned, it's really, really affecting us. And electricity, after paying for electricity, maybe for 2 days, you don't have light, you would have to use your money to buy fuel, and all those things are accumulating,
cost.
you know, costs. And it is really affecting the business because you having to pay for, let's say, prepaid for 1 month, and then you only get to use the light for, let's say, 2 weeks. So the rest 2 weeks is for you to, you know, buy fuel, you know, waste all your money on fuel. So all those things are really, really affecting.
Okay, I want to talk about pricing because you mentioned something earlier when we were talking that how people, because we don't trust, did I say we now? No, me, I trust. But people don't trust made in Nigeria products, and then they tend to, you know, look down on these products and price them low. I want you to talk about how, because you make made in, you do made in Nigeria shoes
Yes,
now. How does pricing low, you know, from customers affect your business, or not just you alone, but for young entrepreneurs who are starting up, you know, because they will go through these challenges as well? How are you able to overcome it, and what are the tips that you can share to young entrepreneurs, you know, to keep afloat?
Okay, one thing I'm going to
afloat.
say is that, firstly, you know the reason why you go into what you're doing, and you know the cost. I feel one thing I'm going to advise them, the people who knows the worth, the value, would definitely buy what you're selling. So the packaging would attract, but the main thing inside would make them want to, you know, we retain them. The quality. We go to the markets to source for the materials. Like, I go to the market to source for the materials. I know the quality of what I'm dishing out. If I tell you the price and, you know, you refuse to buy, there are people that knows the worth that are going to buy.
Okay.
I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. And another thing is that whatsoever thing you are doing, you must be good at it. The moment you are good at what you do, people will definitely buy your product. That is where value comes in.
Okay, from what you just said, just before we go now, when you started, before you started your business, of course you had the passion for doing what you do. At what point, you know, did you just have the passion and you went into it, or there was some kind of mentorship, or there was some kind of internship you learned somewhere, which you were supposed to learn all the rudiments about business before starting your own? And how did that affect your business?
Okay. Before going into shoemaking, I resigned.
So you were working?
Yes, I was working. I was a 9-to-5 before. So I resigned to go into it.
To go into it?
Yes.
To learn? Or you just...
No, to learn.
Okay.
Yes, you need to learn how to make shoes before you can. Yes,
Okay.
ma. So I went into it. I learned from different people because I know what I want. Like I mentioned, I didn't go into it because every other people were going into it. I went into it because of the person that inspires me, that makes shoes from recycling and tires.
Okay, we'll have to end the conversation here. Ease of Doing Business in Lagos with Titilayo Bisiriyu, Director, Liriyu Shoes, and founder, Liriyu Shoes Academy. And she, of course, she is an entrepreneur. Ease of doing business in Lagos, it goes beyond passion. It is something that, you know, must be truly thought about, and, you know, government policies will always guide you. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues.